on, guys? We are the Professionals
with a Z,
and today we actually have a very special guest on our podcast,
Mr. Mokwe.
Yes. So he is the new AP of security, right?
Safety, yeah.
Safety and security.
Student life, all that.
Student life, yeah. So it might be a bit late for this, but we'd like to congratulate you on becoming an AP.
Appreciate that.
So let's give it up for him.
Hey.
And so we got a question.
Yep.
What drew you to this school specifically?
Yeah, so I worked in education since 2008, and particularly, I wanted to be in a position where I can make changes that are going to help students, right?
Okay.
And particularly for here at John Adams, getting back to working with students who look like me, students who need more opportunities, I believe in the power to change your future is, change your perspective.
100%.
Your perspective can show you different possibilities that exist that you didn't know. So I wanted to get to an environment where I can really just create change. So that was really it for me. So once I heard about a lot of the great programs here at John Adams and just the potential, I felt like it was a good fit.
That's amazing. Yeah. So that's great.
Yeah.
So let's see. How do you define success in education?
Success in education.
And how do you aim to achieve it in this school?
Okay. So for success in education for the students?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the most important part is finding yourself.
Okay.
Right? And so I think that's a great thing about a lot of the things that we do here at John Adams is that we have the clubs, you have all the different activities, you have the sports, and it gives you the opportunity to learn about yourself. And I think, once you understand who you are and what's important to you, develop your values, develop your priorities, it helps you later in life, right? Because a lot of the things, I think back to my experience in high school, a lot of the things I learned about myself, and that discipline that I developed, playing sports, or just being a part of different programs like JROTC and stuff like that.
Oh, wow, yeah.
All that kind of stuff.
That's discipline,
it's still instilled in me, you know what I mean? So I think that's the most important part about success. Obviously, you want to get you good grades.
100%.
Grades always don't determine success, you know what I mean? So I think it's more so the soft skills, those intangible skills that you learn about yourself that will help you in anything. It could be applicable to anything that you want to do in life.
Wow. What you got, Dave?
I have a question. Yeah. So I know there's a lot of ups and downs, but what challenges do you foresee in this role as being the AP of John Adams?
The biggest, that's a good question. Biggest challenge is changing culture, right? People may not understand. When I say people, I mean staff or even students, particularly students, right? Don't really understand why a lot of the safety protocols and procedures have shifted, right? And for someone coming in with a different perspective, new to the building, there's a lot of things that I saw that I was like, this is not supposed to be going on. Right?
That's true.
So I'll give you an example, kids wearing hoodies, right?
Okay.
Everybody's like, yo, why this guy, I'm the hoodie police. Yo, why you always telling us to take off the hoodies? But they don't understand the safety aspect of it, right?
Okay.
You look across the country, all the different gun violence that's taking place, those mass shooters coming to the schools and stuff like that.
And
they got to
like that.
Up,
yeah,
right?
Yeah.
And so I got to make sure my job is, I got to make sure that you guys get home safely to your families. I got to make sure that the staff get home safely to their families. So we need to make sure that we're able to identify students quickly, right? It shouldn't take me 5 minutes to have to go back to the camera to figure out who's who, right? I should be able to look at the distance and see what's what. So it's some of those safety precautions and safety protocols that are hard to shift in the culture because students are not used to it, staff are not used to it. Yep. Things have been going on for the past years and nobody says anything. And then here comes me putting all these structures and systems in place, you know what I mean? So it takes a while.
It has to be done.
Yeah, but little by little, but it has to be done.
Yeah, you see, I used to wear a hat all the time. Everybody would take it up. And then I asked around, to the staff, why is this?
Yeah.
And they're like, well, because you can hide your face from the cameras all the time. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense.
The ski mask. But I think it's also important, for me, my background was guidance, right? Okay. So I was guidance counselor for 11 years.
Oh, wow.
I think I come with a different perspective because, like you said, I think a lot of times people don't really understand the reason behind the rule or the changes. And I think it's good to have those conversations with students. So I always try to explain, hey, this is what we're trying to do. Yeah. This is why, right? We're trying
to very important.
Keep you safe. So I think if more conversations are held, I think then it brings everybody together to buy in.
Better understanding of what's going on and why.
For sure.
All right, so let's see. What is your preferred leadership style? How do you think it will resonate with the students and staff? How do you enforce, what are you doing to enforce these changes?
I think my leadership style, basically I'm the type of person that, first of all, I like to watch and see how things go first.
Okay.
So my first few months from September, until maybe November, I just watched. I didn't make any changes. I just watched and to see, how things happening.
Okay.
Right, so if it was scanning, which we could talk about, like scanning or like the bathrooms, the hallways, passes, lunch, right? So I was just watching to see how things operating first, and I just took notes, right? Because I like to use data to inform like my decisions, right? And so that was the biggest piece. And then once I saw that I had enough data to actually implement changes and suggestions, you know, I kind of conferred with stakeholders in the building, right? I talked to some students, I talked to some teachers, I talked to some assistant principals, the principal, of course, and then even school safety, I talked to them, and then we kind of came up with like a plan of how we're going to address it. You know, obviously my plan, but I kind of wanted their feedback on.
You gave everybody's,
perspective on it.
100%.
So that's really my I try to bring the community into things, a collaborative approach.
Okay, so I have a question.
Talk to me.
What is with this new swiping for the bathroom? Like, what is the reasoning behind that? Because a lot of people are mad at that.
Yeah, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Right. So first and foremost, so definitely bathrooms. You know, those closed environments can be where a lot of things happen.
Yes, I'm aware.
You know, vaping is a big issue across the United States.
Yes.
In high schools, elementary schools, middle schools. As well as other things that happen in closed doors, like people fighting, people, you know, loitering or doing other things in the bathroom than using the bathroom for what it is. So I've always worked in big schools for the most part, and my previous schools, the bathrooms were always open, right? And that kind of deterred.
So you see in, right?
Right. So obviously it wasn't line of sight, but if the stalls weren't in line of sight, the doors were open. So that was really good because it deterred students from doing things they weren't supposed to.
Bad things, yeah.
So now the swipes, right? Also, I came from a school where you had to swipe in.
Really?
Right? And like a lot of the offices that you went to, it's a really good school. So a lot of the offices that you went to, you had to swipe in, right? So CAF, you swiped in. Gym, you swiped in.
Wow.
Right? Like anywhere you're going in the building, you swiped, right? And so the reason behind that is just to make sure there's some accountability for students, right? Because students leave the classroom, and then they say they're going to the bathroom, and then they're in the bathroom for 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, you can track that.
Y'all know the game. So now that we're swiping, now we have that information. So when your parent comes and is asking like, or not even just tracking that, but also like in the event that a safety emergency happens, or you know, something bad happens in the bathroom, a kid gets injured, kids are fighting, right? We can see based on the tracking data who was in it. Right, and so that's just accountability for it. And then let's keep it real. Right now we do paper and pen.
Yeah.
We in 2025. Technology we got AI now, right? We still doing paper and pen. It's hard sometimes to. We've had that, right? Where like we had to go back in the log for a particular reason, and we can't even read what the kids are writing. Right, they're not even writing their full name, so we don't even know who.
Some kids don't even write it.
Some kids don't even write it. Exactly. So I just want to make sure that there's proper protocols, because I believe in systems and protocols and procedures, right? And just making sure that's consistent across the board, right? So whatever the first floor is doing, the second floor should be doing. Everybody should be doing it all across. So that's why. So I know kids don't like it, or the idea, but you know, again, it's to keep people safe.
I mean, that's your job.
That's my job. Exactly.
Going back to the question, I have another question. How do you plan to support teachers in their professional development and ensure that they feel valued?
Yeah, so I think that's a great question, right? So if there's no safety, if the building is not safe, then how can students learn, right? And whether students admit it or staff admit it, or us as humans, we all like structure.
Yes.
There's no one that doesn't like structure, right? We thrive in structure. If you play a sport and there's no structure, it's a mess. You can't become a GOAT. You can't, get to the playoffs, get to a championship. So I think the first things first is really just making sure that there's structure when it comes to safety, right? And these protocols are in place. And we take into consideration their feedback, their thoughts. Some of them have been in the building for a long time, right? So I want to make sure that we create systems and protocols that best create safe environments, whether it's in the classroom, whether it's in the hallways. So it's a good, positive experience for everybody. So I think having more trainings, restorative practices. I know you guys have heard that I've used alternatives to discipline measures, right?
Yes.
As opposed to just suspending everybody just for
I like that
different
a lot.
things. So we try different things, taking consideration what took place. If there's anything else going on with the student, maybe outside of the school, maybe at home and stuff like that. So we take a lot of things into consideration. And that just speaks back to my experience as a guidance counselor. Right? So I kind of use that as my guiding light. You know what I mean? So.
Wow. So what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, so the different ways you have of disciplining. So like, can you give us some examples of that? Because I've heard of them.
Yeah, so we have, and you heard them, but you haven't experienced them, so that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Right, because you're not getting in trouble.
No.
So we have like community gives now.
Yes,
so
I see it.
Particularly now, so like if let's say someone gets in trouble and it's not something egregious where we have to suspend them, they'll be assigned a community give, maybe through the SLC or maybe through my office or through another department like the math department. They'll come, maybe like shred some paper. Maybe we have some flyers that we need to put up. Flyers we need to take down. Maybe they might go down to the lunchroom, get some gloves, move the trash can around, right? So it just gives accountability. But specifically why I like it is because it's like when they had a situation, we as a staff we're giving you like 30 minutes, 45 minutes of our day that we can't get back, right? So you got to give us something back in return, right? So you give us that 30 minutes, that 45 minutes back into the community and help everybody else. So that's the idea with it.
That's actually crazy. What you got?
But going back to another question, how would you say that you balance your discipline with creating a nurturing environment for the students?
Yeah, that's a good one, right? So some of the other initiatives that I've done this year, we've had monthly flex trips. Have you guys heard of this?
No.
You haven't heard of it?
No.
Really? All right. So flex. So I came up with flex like the muscle. So future leaders excelling. So every month since October, I've met with a group of different people. So the tennis office, Global Kids, the parent coordinator, and the community associate, and we developed monthly incentivized trips. So we've gone to like a St. John's basketball game. We've gone to the aquarium, the Prospect Park Zoo. We've gone to different. They were going to a Mets trip. Wow. They've gone to different places. So every month we choose a different criteria. So like one time it was like people whose attendance got better, people who passing their classes, students who just needed additional motivation. And we tap on different stakeholders in the building. So maybe it might be guidance counselors or teachers or the SLCs. So every month has been a different trip, right? And so I think that's important to answer your question. Is just the fact that a lot of times we don't celebrate the good that's happening in the building. The kids that are doing well, they're coming every day and passing their classes, they're not in the hallways, they're not getting into fights, right? They're doing positive things. So like that's another way I want to celebrate those students.
Wow, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah,
that's really good.
Yeah, it's like another way to like be like I'm thankful. Congratulations, you're actually behaving, listening.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct.
And you get rewarded and stuff.
Exactly.
Rewarded for good behavior.
That we see you. We see the good that you're doing. So.
Anyway, so we heard that you are actually a DJ.
Yeah.
Right? Can we speak about that?
Yeah, for sure we can. So outside of my role as assistant principal, I own an entertainment company.
That's crazy.
And in my entertainment company, I have several employees, DJs, photographers, videographers, chefs. So we do a lot of events, primarily private events, weddings, birthday parties, bar mitzvahs, those kind of things. As well as we do have nightlife events as well sometimes that we'll be outside, But yeah, so that's a big passion of mine.
Wow.
Something I've been doing for a long time.
Let's talk about the DJing. What skills you think that you need to be a good DJ? Like, what skills make you great at being a DJ?
For me personally, so I grew up in the church. Both my parents were pastors, right? So like music was always in my blood, right? Like my family is musically talented, so I grew up in the church and I learned how to play drums, piano, bass, guitar. So I just loved music, like overall. I'm Nigerian, and then I grew up in the Bronx, so I was introduced to like hip hop, rap. Before you guys were probably born.
Probably.
Aging myself, she said probably. But yeah, so like rap, hip hop. I got exposed to like Caribbean music, reggae, Latin music, all in the Bronx. And I went to college. I went to a really eclectic school, Purchase College, and so like
that's good.
I got into like EDM, pop, rock, all that kind of stuff like that. So I think for me is the fact that I love music and I love all genres. So my stage name is DJ O Cross, and the O for like that's my initial. And then cross just because of my faith and just because I cross between genres, right? So I think that's a big skill that I bring to the table is that I'm comfortable with every genre.
Who's your favorite artist?
Artist all time?
All time, yeah.
Michael Jackson is my
wow.
All time.
That's
all
actually
time.
crazy,
All time.
really?
All time, yeah.
Who would be number 2?
It's tough because it depends on the genre. Like I have a favorite artist per genre, but all time, so Michael. I don't know. Maybe Coldplay would be next.
Okay. I like Coldplay. His older stuff is better than his newer stuff now.
Yeah,
But
it's a good band. So it just depends. Depending on the genre, I'll tell you somebody different.
how about rap?
Rap all time?
Yeah.
All time it gotta be Biggie.
Really?
It gotta be Biggie.
Okay.
Yeah,
It's a classic.
I'm cool with some of the newer stuff, but the old school stuff is way better for me.
Oh my God. The generations always think that their music is the best.
I think it just is. It just is. I'm not a big Playboy Cardi.
Oh my God, he is so bad.
Oh, he's bad?
He's
I thought you were gonna
terrible.
say he's good.
No,
Yeah.
he is so bad.
Playboy Cardi, all that kind of stuff like that. I mean, it's cool, but you know, Drake is.
Oh, okay.
Drake is up there.
Talking about Drake, who like better, Drake or Kendrick?
Oh my God.
I like both of them actually. I met both of them in college.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I met both of them in college.
Are you serious?
Yes, I met both of them in college, and that was before they were big. I met Drake before the big stardom. I met Kendrick when he dropped Section 80. Yeah, no Section 80. You see, I don't know Section 80. Yeah, so that was Drake So Far Gone. Before So Far Gone.
What?
Yeah, that's he was. Yeah, so.
How did you meet these guys?
They came to perform at a campus. Yeah.
What?
So I met them way before like everything really popped up. And as soon as we met Drake, then like that it came the summer, because you know like colleges they have like the end of the year like bashment kind of thing.
Okay.
So they came to perform for that. Ours was called Culture Shock, and then right after that like Drake blew up, and we was like, oh,
Really?
we just saw this guy.
No way.
No NBA Youngboy.
No NBA Youngboy.
Some songs, obviously I'll play them if I'm like DJing a kid's party or whatever.
Okay.
I'll play the hits, but no, I'm not like getting in the car like yo throw on that NBA Youngboy. Nah.
I would never play that either. That's not for me. Let's see what else he's gonna pull up. What is
G
this?
Herbo? Absolutely not.
I don't know even who that is.
Absolutely not. Trash.
Who that is?
He got like one song. Like what?
I don't know who that is even.
Chicago rapper.
Oh really?
Yeah, I know him.
How about Juice WRLD?
If somebody requests, I'll play it.
Do you like? What do you think about Tory Lanez?
I used to like Tory Lanez, but he's canceled. Right?
Oh.
He's canceled. So
well, he's in prison.
We can't jack him, man. He can't be.
What?
Can't be hurting women. So. Yeah, I used to get caught. I look like Tory Lanez. They used to say that to me a lot.
That you look like him?
That I look like Tory Lanez.
I think so. Actually, yeah, you do. He does.
Yeah. I used to get that a lot.
Yeah.
Like Tory Lanez, but we don't jack Tory Lanez.
You don't like him?
And that's hard to do sometimes. I know, right? Like, cause you have like R. Kelly, you have a few like even Diddy now, like a lot of these artists who done great things musically, but are not good people.
Personal, like Kanye West.
Kanye West, right? So it's hard sometimes for people to disassociate the music from
art from the person.
Yeah, but I think they're one and the same. You know what I mean? So
really,
I think so.
No.
I think so.
What would you guys say, David?
I'm trying to think of some more rappers. What do you think about J. Cole?
J. Cole is nice. I just don't think he drops in. I don't even know who this is.
Who is that?
J. Cole is great. He's a great artist, a great lyricist. He tells great stories. I just don't think he's consistent enough. Yeah. Right? Like we forget about him.
That's a fact.
Every so often. So I think if he was more consistent, I think he would be up there in the GOAT conversation.
Oh wow. Okay. That's crazy.
Are you interested in like any sports or anything?
Yeah, so I play basketball and soccer. So
wow.
I don't watch it as much now, just because it's my schedule. But yeah, I used to coach basketball too in my previous school. So
really?
Yeah.
Who's your favorite team? What's your favorite team?
All time? I'm a New York everything. So
really?
I'm jacking the Knicks. All right. So I'm not a bandwagon, and I hate those kind of people. The people like you from New York, but you rooting for like the Heat or Lakers, like.
Yeah, you wouldn't like my team. I'm a Grizzlies fan.
How? Why?
I love Ja Morant and I love that atmosphere. I just love it.
I don't even know who this is, man. I feel like he's trolling us. But yeah, I'm a New York everything. So Knicks, Yankees.
Yankees, not the Mets.
No. I mean, I root for the Mets if they're doing good, but I'm not a Mets Jets guy. Nah.
Well, Jets are trash.
More Giants, but I take the L with the New York sports.
I mean, that's respect.
For sure.
Talking about basketball, who do you got winning the championship this year?
This year?
Yeah.
I got the Celtics.
Oh no.
I don't like the Celtics.
I got the Celtics. Do I bet? I've bet before. I had to stop. Not because I had a gambling problem or anything, but I just rather put my money towards things that
investments.
Yeah, exactly. So stocks, ETFs, index funds, those kind of things. You guys should definitely look.
100%. What do you think is gonna happen now with the market? Like, you think, like, what is your opinion on that?
Listen. So whether you have your thoughts about the current president, he's our president, right? And I believe in giving people a chance to see what they're gonna do.
100%.
Right? So maybe when everything settles down, maybe there'll be some things that we can highlight.
Yes.
So we have to just be optimistic.
Yes. That is
try to stay in that
fact.
space.
Yep.
For now. So, but yeah, my stocks took a big hit. All of my stocks took a big hit right now. So I haven't even opened it in a little bit because I don't want to see it. Right. But
I think if you give it some time,
we gotta give it some time. Exactly. Give it some time and see if maybe things cook up.
Yeah. See what he's doing. Whatever happens, I think everything's gonna go up.
For sure.
Hopefully.
For sure.
But yeah, I think that's it for today's podcast.
Okay.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
Well, I have to leave.
We have some more questions.
One more question.
One more question. Let's do one more question.
If NBA YoungBoy was right here, what would you tell him so he could better himself?
Oh, NBA YoungBoy, I would tell him, you gotta surround yourself with people who want to see you win. I think that's number one. He's been in so much in and out of jail, and it's obvious that he has talent, he has charisma, he has the ears of the street, right? But he hasn't been able to capitalize on it because he just keeps getting in trouble, right? And he needs to surround himself with people who actually really care about him and want to see him be successful. Because I don't think he would be getting in as much trouble if he had people who really were down for him.
You are who you surround yourself with.
Exactly, whether you like it or not.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So I think that's his biggest downfall right now. Because you're gonna make mistakes as a young man. I think he's less than 25 or something like that. I don't know what his age is. You're gonna make the mistakes.
25.
25, right? Yeah.
Okay. So
he's gonna make the mistakes. Everybody's gonna make the mistakes,
100%.
but if you have people that really are in your corner and really down for you, they're gonna help you avoid those mistakes. Things that you shouldn't be doing, places you shouldn't be going. They'll tell you, yo, bro, like, I don't think you should be doing
that's
that.
not a good idea.
Especially when you got the money, right? Like, it's like some of these athletes that get the DUIs and stuff like that. It's like, yo, you got all this money, you can't take an Uber. Like,
have someone drive you?
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
what?
You can't get somebody to drive you, so it's just weird like that. But again, it just depends on people that you surround yourself with that can help you. Like, stay focused on what the end goal is.
I agree. All right. Well, that was an amazing podcast.
Word.
We thank you so much for having you on.
Thank you. I appreciate it. I look forward to seeing how you guys cook this one up.
Yes.
All right.
He's the editor. He's gonna make it good.
Okay. All right.
All right.
It's been professional.
We were the professionals.
Yep.
With a Z. Peace.